Alright, what is up everyone? Welcome back to another episode of Crypto, Coffee and Lo-Fi. Fuck, this gang is up loud. Alright. I haven't really planned anything for this episode, but I'm just going to jump straight into it so you guys can kind of understand my raw thought process. Before we get started, a special thanks to Delta Exchange for sponsoring this series. Click the link in the description below, sign up with them, it helps us out, it helps the episodes out. Alright, so if you go back and watch the previous episode that I uploaded a few days ago, you'll know that I was looking to get long at these support levels here and was obviously stopped out. Hold on, let me just fix this. Alright, so is that going to have a massive impact on my portfolio and everything in the long term? No, it's not. Obviously I was managing my risk accordingly. I did make money throughout this entire area of consolidation, throughout the entire leg down. So being wrong on an idea is not an issue for me. As long as I manage my risk correctly, it's fine. So just making that clear. So going forward here, my bias for the long term isn't really clear. When we were holding inside this area of consolidation, I had obvious areas where I can enter and obvious areas of invalidation, and as well as that, obvious targets. But now that we've broken below these lows here, I'm no longer confident in my bias. So I think in terms of looking to enter long-term positions, I'm not going to bother. So I think just playing the short to mid-term is what I should be doing here. If you are new here, I'm essentially just using the same pattern to enter, exit, find accumulation and distribution, and support and resistance. So what is that pattern? Essentially, if I'm looking for a long, let's say we are moving into support, I will look for a sweep of a key low. Once we see that sweep, I then look for price to break above the high that was responsible for taking that low. Once we get the break and close above this high here, I then wait for the same pattern to form again inside of this range between the high and the low. There's a little bit more to the strategy, but this is just the basics. Just trading this pattern over the long term is profitable. Developed an indicator and put everything into a back tester that just trades this pattern on its own, and I've posted some results on Twitter, so if you want to go check that out, you can. Yeah, so looking at this chart with fresh eyes, I guess, after being invalidated on my idea, what I am seeing is all of these equal lows resting just below where we currently are. Now, if we are to see a long-term trend change, in my opinion, it makes sense for us to dip below these lows first. Now that the accumulation inside of this zone and this zone has been invalidated, it's suggesting to me that buyers are no longer interested in stepping in at these levels or really at these levels. However, I do think from here, because we are sitting in a daily demand zone and we are seeing some lower time frame accumulation, I wouldn't be surprised if we see a temporary leg up. So before I jump into a position, I like to make sure that there are obvious objectives for price to be heading towards. So if I'm going long, there's two kinds of objectives that I'll be looking at. The first would be a liquidity based objective, so a double top, for example. The second kind of objective would be a range based objective. So let's say we draw a range from here to the low that may or may not form where we currently are. A range-based objective would lie within this range here, from the high through to the low. So just like I was in the previous episode marking out accumulation in this zone, what I'd be doing to find a range-based objective would be marking out the previous areas of distribution. So if we do find support here and we do start to accumulate, rather than thinking, okay, we're going to head to all-time highs, what I would do is mark out the previous areas of distribution. So right here, you can see we swept out these equal highs, then breaking below the low that was responsible for taking those highs. So if we do start to see a leg up here, some sideways, a sweep, some accumulation, then I think the next obvious objective is 40k. So the most bullish scenario that I can think of from here, keeping in mind though, I'm not telling you to just fucking blind long, and I'm not saying that's what I'm going to be doing, because I'm not. But if I was to kind of see obvious bullish price action, what would that look like? I would like to see a sweep of these lows. Once we get those lows taken out, then I would look for more accumulation and a reclaim of this area here. So I think it's a little bit too early to be looking for long-term positions. I think the best thing to do is assume that the trend is either going to continue down or we are going to get chop here. So just keeping that in mind. Back when we were in this zone, we were sitting at support, there was accumulation here, so there was a reason to enter. But now that we've broken below that, there's no accumulation in this zone. So yeah, just keeping that in mind. I think so the most bullish scenario would be a sweep of these lows followed by more accumulation. If we get that, then I would say okay, a possible trend reversal to the upside is in play. If we get some consolidation here without the sweep first and a leg up, then I think the most obvious thing for us to do is retest previous areas of distribution. So right here, once we reach into these areas, if we get more distribution and start to sell off, then I'll look to enter swing shorts again, targeting these lows. If once we reach into here, we don't get the distribution, then targeting this high and this high into this previous area of distribution, so taking that high, breaking below the low. I think it's unlikely that we reach all the way up here, but of course it could still happen. So that's the game plan. Most bullish scenario is a sweep of these lows and then a break up, followed by some more accumulation. If we get sideways and the leg up before taking these lows, I think we revisit previous areas of distribution, so either this low right here or this low, where we'll then see a further sell-off. Not blind shorting once we get to these levels, but if we get some more distribution there, then I will look to short into the lows. So I think that's pretty simple. Almost every coin is looking pretty similar. There are a few that have taken the key lows, so I think Aave is one of them. So taking out all of these equal lows here, looks like we're seeing some accumulation on the lower time frame. So if we get that, then looking to get long. I don't think shorting this higher time frame support that we're at now, or going for swing shorts anyway, I don't think that's the best thing to do. If Bitcoin lines up and we do get some lower time frame sideways action and lower time frame accumulation here, then I think going long again into the previous area of distribution, taking out that high, breaking below the low, I think that's a smart play. CRV as well, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, so similar story, taking out this low, some lower time frame accumulation. I think a long up into here if everything else plays ball. Nothing on Sol. Yeah, I think just trying to preserve capital over the next few months is the best thing that you should be doing. Thankfully, I am for the most part a day trader, so when I do enter long-term swing positions, it's only with a small amount of capital, because that's not where my focus is. It's not where I want my focus to be. So if you go through and watch the previous episodes, like from all the way back, like last year in April, for example, calling this high, calling this bottom, calling this high. Just because I call these levels doesn't mean that I'm entering swing positions and trading them. Okay, I'm a levels trader. If I get invalidated on a position, I will just reassess. So I don't mind which direction we head in. I don't think swing shorts as support is a smart idea. I wouldn't be surprised if we get some kind of temporary retrace. But yep, I'm going to cut that episode here. If you enjoyed it, or you're interested in the way that I'm analyzing the charts and executing positions here, you can click the link in the description below, pick up a copy of the strategy. And then we also have the indicator up here. So there's 1-for-1, replicates how I would manually enter positions and kind of prints all of the signals on the chart for you, along with all the analysis as well. So if you're interested in that, go and check it out. No worries, guys. Enjoy the rest of your day. Bye.